Hey, welcome to day number 73 of this 100-day video challenge. Now, I started to talk about focus, right? And that you have to start to realize what focus is. So let's talk about that today, right? So what is focus? Well, focus is actually a mental ability, right? So when I say mental ability, I mean it's one of the ways in which our minds think. It is the will of our mind to have sustained concentration, to think about and focus on and take action on one thing for an extended period of time so that we can build this momentum, this feeling good about a particular task. I'm sure you've been in that flow state before, where you forced yourself to do nothing else except this one task. It could be writing, it could be recording something, it could be manual labor. But you focused on it for a while, and you started to develop some momentum, and before you knew it, you were heads down and really cranking out great material, whatever it was. That is the power of focus. Now, the problem is, we rarely these days give ourselves a chance to build that momentum anymore. We might get 5 or 10 minutes into a task, and we allow the phone ring to stop us, or we allow the sound of a new email coming in to divert our attention to something new, and we never reap the rewards of this incredibly powerful momentum that we get when we focus. And by the way, that's also the concept of the Montessori schools, because they don't. Once a child focuses on something they are doing, they are in the flow. That's another term that we use for that. I'm in the flow. And children as well, if they have interest in something and they're in the flow and they're just reading a book, then I think it's one of the worst things to interrupt the child in that flow and in that focus. So if a child has a special interest in math and doing math problems, and they're just in the flow of doing this stuff, this homework, these problems, to then have the class bell ring and say it's time to close the books and turn over to English class or whatever. That's the way school works, the school system, right? But in Montessori, they don't want to interrupt that flow, right? And they want to give, that's why they're individually focused on the children. Some people say they let children do whatever they want to. That's only part of the truth. That statement is true in the sense that once a child has interest in something, then let them use their momentum, their focus, their flow to learn and enhance that skill, because it's their inner motivation to do that right now, right? And it would be terrible to interrupt that, because once a child gets interrupted all the time in these things during school in the early years, then they get used to that and they never finish things anymore. And it's just like when you're outside on a sunny day and you can get a suntan, but at the same time, if somebody took a magnifying glass and took those same sun rays, but focused and harnessed them into a single beam of light on your skin, it would burn you. It's the exact same energy, though. Our mind has the exact same energy, but when we focus it on one thing, we can have a far more powerful effect. So that is the essence of what we're going for. To reach the pinnacle of success as an entrepreneur, you need to have laser-like focus on the things that you need to be doing to grow your business. Unless you're focusing on those, your attention is being diverted in a million different directions, and you'll never make the progress that you need to make to reach the really big and lofty goals that you're likely setting already in your life, right? Realize that focus is actually a skill. It's a skill and a habit. If you work on your focus on a daily basis, you can get into a habit of being really good at focusing on things, and it can be deliberately strengthened. And some of working methods and time management methods also use that concept, right? To focus on something, and being in the habit of doing that and not interrupting. And unless you make the choice to deliberately strengthen that habit, you're never going to actually realize that benefit. So realize it's a skill, and then realize that you can do something about it. And it's a very powerful skill. All right, so I think that's enough for today. I'll have some more thoughts about the topic of focus coming up, but hope that those thoughts helped you maybe a little bit. And wishing you a good evening and a good day, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.